Spirit, mind, body, work, yeah, work, yeah. Spirit, mind, body, work, yeah, work, yeah. Come on. Spirit, work, yeah. Hey, everybody, come on.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this session in the Cove. I'm Tangi Brewer with Stylish and Fit and Cove Leader. Okay, so last week we spoke about the dangers of the lurking sugar, right? That's in so many different products that we consume from the grocery store. One of the main ones we really honed in on and looked at was cereal. I know that cereal is something that's quick and easy that people kind of have at their fingertips that they get very quickly, and they think because it's low fat that, you know, it's okay, when there's so many things like corn and high fructose corn syrup and sugar, of course, refined sugars that's lurking in those cereals. So I really want to focus on sodium, because sodium is another huge ingredient that is in almost probably more than half of the things in the grocery stores. It's even in the things that we think it's, you know, full of sugar. Like as far as soda has a high content of sodium in it as well. And so I really want to take a look at sodium. The American diet, many people per day, they're really out of the range as far as where they should be with sodium. Many consumers are consuming probably anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium per day. Now, the American Heart Association, I mean, they've talked about where Americans should stay probably between 2,400 milligrams, but other nutritionists say 1,500, you know, and I like to keep it, you know, below 1,200 and below per day, and you can definitely get there, because we know that sodium attributes to a lot of things like heart disease, kidney, you know, failure, kidney stones, hypertension, high blood pressure, so many things. It makes you retain water. So let's take a look this week on our grocery store tour as we explore the items in the grocery store that's full of sodium. Now, I do want to make a mention that a study was done that Americans get 95% of their sodium from the grocery store. They get the other part they get it from restaurants and that sort of thing, but a high abundance of the American diet comes from the grocery store. Why? Because there are so many things that we go and we purchase, and it's at our fingertips. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So come on with me, everyone. Grab your pads and pencils as we walk through the grocery store. Now, these are going to be some of the items that you probably have seen in the grocery store, but I'm really concentrating on labels, not really down each aisle specifically, but labels on this evening. So let's go ahead and start with two items that you may see in the grocery store tour: vegetable broth. I know that some people use vegetable broth to cook with. Now, I certainly believe that you should use natural flavors to cook with. Use your own minerals and your seasonings rather. Now, I did make a mention that for me, I believe that a vitamin rack is essential to have in your kitchen. Actually, I'm saying a vitamin rack. Yes, you need your vitamins, but a season rack, excuse me. So a season rack is important to have in your kitchen. But a lot of people use maybe a vegetable broth, or I've seen people use a chicken broth, and then I tell them, hey, when you use chicken broth in your vegetables, then you're really making that acidic and no longer alkaline. So then I've seen people go to vegetable broth. But let's take a look at this. So many people will not look at the particular items. They just pick up a vegetable broth, right? It says organic. They're thinking, you know what, this says organic, I'm going to go ahead and get this one. Remember, we just looked at two. One, and we'll see what the difference is, okay? So that vegetable broth is there, and it says organic. And let's look at the sodium that's in there. So it's 540 grams, so 540 grams of sodium. and that is in 1 cup. Now, many people sometimes use this for soup, and many people are going to have more than 1 cup of that. So you have to look at 4 servings per container. If you look all the way up to the top where it says nutrition facts, there's 4 servings per container. So you have to multiply 540 times 4, and that's how much sodium is in this content, or in this particular vegetable broth, right? So now let's look at the next one. So this was the low sodium one. Remember, I put them both side by side, and many people really sometimes won't think to get, well, let me look and see if there's a low sodium broth there. So this one, let's take a look, everyone, at this particular one has. So it drops down a whole over about 300 less milligrams of sodium that's in here. So that's pretty drastically different, and I'm told that it definitely still flavors what you need. But again, I truly believe that it's important for you to go ahead and flavor naturally. You really don't need the broths, but if you're going to use a broth, certainly get a vegetable broth and make sure that it is low in sodium. So this is a particular item many of you have seen, and I was in college before, and so this really was the food of choice. You know, it's easy. They were like 10 cents per ramen noodle, and so many students consume these, and a lot of people still consume them even today. But if you look in the upper right hand corner of this particular item, what does it say? It says 0 gram trans fat, right? So that's something that they put on this item just to really throw you off because right under that it says see the nutrition facts for sodium. So I'm thinking that they had to put that on there because this item was so full of sodium. So let's take a look at the back, you all. If you look down, sodium, if you can find that, 830 milligrams of sodium, and you have to look at the servings per container. You must do that. But before you do that, look at the serving size. The serving size is a half a block, okay? So that's 830 milligrams for half a block. Now, many students and many people all over America, they're just not going to have 1 block of this. They're going to eat the whole thing, right? So you have to multiply that 830 milligrams of sodium times 2. So then you have what? 1660 grams of sodium for this one particular package, and that's probably just for a lunch that someone is doing. So you really want, this is something that I definitely would say steer away from, because not only is it full of sodium, but there's so many other things in it as well. Let's take a look at something that you may look at people put in their buggies, because they say, Tangi, you know what? It says organic pasta, that's at the top. It's by Annie's, and she also has some nice little no artificial ingredients, real source of cheese. She has that stuff there in the little green box, right? And so you're thinking for sure, you know, this is probably okay for my children to buy for my family. So then you look, and it is 760 milligrams of sodium. Now that is for a servings per container of 3, okay? And so normally you're probably going to see people really eat a little bit more than the serving size that's allotted. So again, here is an item that is organic, and you really want to make sure that you pay close attention to. But again, everyone, that's why you want to stay away from these packaged items, right? It is very, very important that you buy whole food and cook food yourself, okay? So let's go to particular. I put these side by side, everyone. Cheez-Its. I've seen people, you know, you eat one, you can't just eat just one. People eat multiple Cheez-Its, right? Well, they came up with a reduced fat Cheez-It, okay? So they have a reduced fat and they have the normal one. Let's take a look at the reduced fat Cheez-It, okay? So with this particular item, we're going to look at the content for for sodium. So this particular item for the reduced fat, everyone, is 250 milligrams of sodium, okay? And that's about 5 servings per container that's there, okay? Serving about 29 crackers. So that's 250 milligrams of sodium. Now, this is the reduced fat, my friend. Okay, so now you go to this particular Cheez-It. So that's just the regular one. And remember, the other one, the reduced fat, was 250. Well, the one that's not the reduced fat is 230, everyone. And it's six servings per container. So here is the important thing to realize. What a lot of these companies do when they make something low fat, they have to compensate, they have to make up for it somewhere else. So as you can see in these particular Cheez-Its, they are making up for it in sodium to make it taste better, right? It's low fat, but they have to make it taste better. So remember, the one that was the reduced fat Cheez-It here was 250 milligrams of sodium for 5 servings, and this the regular one is 230 milligrams for 6 servings. So you have to look at the servings because they will trick you on that. They, it's to lure you in and to get you to compare, but they're not expecting you to really, really read. So you have to research and you have to do this for yourself. But just make this really known is that really the sodium is high, but there's so many other things in this item that I didn't even show you because we're really concentrating on sodium. But as far as the high fructose corn syrup that's in these items, and partially hydrogenated soybean oils as well. So really look. So here's another the bouillon cubes, is that what it is? Many of you probably heard of these. It really seasons, or I've seen it season food really quickly. I know my grandmother used to use these years ago. And if you look at the sodium content, everyone, 880 milligrams of sodium. Now that's for 1 teaspoon there. So not even a tablespoon, everyone. That's for 1 teaspoon, 880 milligrams of sodium. Now, many people, they're going to use more than 1 teaspoon, and maybe they're using it in soup or whatever it is to flavor. Many people are going to consume, really on average, about 3 teaspoons, everybody. So you have to take 880 times 3, so close, well over 2,500, well over the allotment of sodium that one needs for, that they need for that entire day. It's really pretty sad when one, purchases something like this and thinks that it's just flavoring their food when really it's zapping from their bodies. Because remember, you are all sodium also can cause dehydration and osteoporosis as well. So let's go to the next thing. The pastaronis, the rice-a-ronis, another item that seems quick and easy. You think you can make it for your children, something quick. This has 670 grams of sodium. It's for about 2.5 servings per container. So that's how much. So really the sodium, you have to take 670 times 2, and then you have to do half of that, so about 335 or whatever, and then you have to add it to the sodium, the bottom line there. So as you can see, another high item as far as your sodium is concerned. This is an all soup. Many people have soup in their cabinets, okay? Soup is something that seems quick and easy. A lot of people say, when you're not feeling well, go get a can of soup, take it easy, sit on the couch, right? Wrong. And this even has healthy requests on there. The soup companies, a lot of people, they're finding out that a lot of people are really paying a lot of attention to their bodies. And so you may see healthy requests on soups, but you still don't be fooled by the things that you see on these labels. When you look at this particular soup here, let's take a look at how much this particular can of soup. So this one has 400 milligrams of sodium. Now, that's for it's servings per container in this soup. People just one, you're going to have the entire can, right? So that's 100 soup. But guess what they have on the front, everyone? They have beautiful, heart healthy request, right? All right. What's on the front of that soup? And then you move to the choice, right? So right next to that, you have the healthy choice. You have 1/3 cup of vegetables is what they have, at the on the cover, or the first thing that you see when you're purchasing this soup. But hearty chicken, of course, we know with the chicken, those noodles I'm sure are unbleached noodles, or so those noodles are going to be just white flour. Of course, those vegetables have soaked in sodium and the juice from the meat, so it is a very acidic meal, right? So if you look at this healthy choice, you all, this healthy choice has more sodium in it than the regular Campbell's that we were just looking at, right? So that's 480 milligrams of sodium for 2 servings, right? The serving size, remember, is 1 cup. We're not going to just have 1 cup. We're going to eat the whole can. So you're talking about 1,000 milligrams of sodium, right? And so when you're not feeling well, everyone, 2 of the things that you really want to stay away from, sodium and sugar and all of those things. And so when you go and you have a cup of soup, that's really setting you back. Okay? So let's go to the next item here, cream of chicken. I wanted to look at this one because 98% fat free. They put a lot of the companies, they know what to put on the, sorry y'all, wanted to make sure. So they know what to put on the cans, the top of the cans, just to, throw you off, so you have to really, really look at everything. So 98% fat free, you all, does not mean healthy for you, right? So 98% fat free. Let's look at what the sodium content is in this cream of chicken soup. Okay, the sodium content is 750 for 2.5 servings. So again, the sodium there is very high. Another item I've seen purchase, the hamburger helpers, any of those helpers that are there, I would say definitely stay far, far away from these items. I was looking at the sodium in this, and it was about close to 800 milligrams of sodium. But of course, even if you look at what's in this particular item, the partially hydrogenated soybean oil and all of that. But let's go ahead, because we're really talking about sodium. Spaghetti sauce is another thing. Is it better to make your own spaghetti sauce? Absolutely. Spaghetti sauce is really one of the items that I think are staples in a lot of homes. A lot of people have spaghetti probably once a week because it's quick and it's easy. But spaghetti sauce is full of sodium. Let's take a look and see just how much sodium is in spaghetti sauce. So this particular one is 480, and that's for, let's see, it's a half a cup of spaghetti sauce. And so many people are probably going to have about a full cup of spaghetti sauce. So that's going to be close to 1,000 milligrams of sodium. But remember, you got to take into account what you're going to be having for the entire day. So that's 480. But, Prego came up with something, stuck the American Heart Association logo on there, the Heart Smart spaghetti sauce, right? So then the Heart Smart spaghetti sauce, many people will go, well, let me just buy that particular spaghetti sauce instead. So this particular spaghetti sauce is still 360 milligrams of sodium. So, you'll probably be consuming about, 700 or so, a little over 700 milligrams of sodium if you have this particular spaghetti sauce. So you really have to think about this as you are operating throughout the day. That is why you want to make your own food, right? You definitely want to make your own spaghetti sauce And let's post some pictures of or some ingredients and some recipes on spaghetti sauce, because I know for me, my family loves spaghetti, and I would love to see what recipes are. So here's another item: canned vegetables. I'm definitely against any canned vegetable. First of all, vegetables, even if you're buying frozen vegetables and they're not organic, they're going to be missing the nutrients that you need in them. And then you take it a step further and can them, and you will be missing ingredients, and also to the availability to increase your salt intake, right? So 580 milligrams of sodium, and this one, that's for a half of cup. So really, this will probably be about for two people. The servings per container is 3, so people are probably going to consume a lot more. So when you're in this aisle and you see a lot of the canned vegetables, definitely beware of that. A lot of them have extra amounts of sodium in there. So is it better to make your own fresh vegetables? Absolutely. Stay away from the canned vegetables as well. So even you think, okay, I'm doing a vegetable even, so it's okay. No, you really, really want to pay close attention. Here is red beans and rice. I know many of you have seen this when you're in the rice aisle, and I don't know if you've ever went over to someone's home and they kind of put this plate in front of you, and you're sort of forced to eat it at times, and you're thinking, why does it seem like I need 3 or 4 glasses of water after leaving this person's house, or I've had a half of cup of salt. Well, at least for me, once your body gets really into a rhythm of consuming whole foods, and it's less acidic, and you don't have a lot of salt in your food, then you're really going to become sensitized, very, very sensitive to salt in the future. So this particular item has 1190 milligrams of sodium. So 1190 milligrams, and guess what, you all? That is for a third of a cup. So this is the one that I was just really blown away by, because the servings per container, there's 4 servings per container. So this particular item has close to 5,000 milligrams of sodium in it. And really, we really don't truly know just how much sodium, you all, is in this particular item, because really they give you an estimate anyway. There's no way they can really be exact on these things. So you have to take responsibility for your health. Rice-A-Ronis, I would say any Rice-A-Ronis, you all. So I put this particular box up there, but there are boxes of quinoa that's flavored. There are, and that's even at the health food store, or there's the Uncle Ben's. They have the wild rice, mushroom, tomato. All of these rices are very high in sodium. So I would definitely suggest that you just always get your brown rice and flavor your rice on your own. The amount of sodium in this particular one is 970 milligrams of sodium, and that is a servings of 3 per container, right? So it is very important that you read these items, everyone. So I wanted this to be a quick 30-minute. I'm trying to keep these to a good digestible format, because I really want to hone in on some of the major items or the major ingredients that's in a lot of the products that you see in the grocery store, down the aisles, that you become, a purchaser of, and you don't realize how and what it is doing to your body. Again, we mentioned the effects of sodium, and long-term effects of sodium can really damage people, and kill people, of course, right, with the heart disease and so forth. I'm not sure if you all read the story in the news about a mother who killed her son on purpose. And how did she kill him? She poisoned him with salt. So she would give him high limits of salt every single day, and through a course of time, the little boy did die. And so, whether you're taking a large amount of salt at a time, or you're stretching it out what it is doing to your body is breaking it down. Now we know salt is a mineral. We know that there's so many things that we get, like as far as where sodium, that's in sodium, that has, sorry, there's a lot of items where sodium is big in, whether it's celery, and there's natural sodium that you're getting, right? Then we know that people are putting, nitrates and different things that are full of sodium in meats, the processed meats that we're getting. We've talked about those, the lunch meats, right? Full of sodium. Not to mention the things that you're purchasing that that have a lot of sugar in them too. A lot of times they have salt. The cereals, we didn't go through the cereal boxes, but I'm sure if I were to pull up some of the cereal boxes, you would see that sodium is in cereal too as well. Sometimes it's even anywhere from 120 to 190 milligrams of sodium per half a cup of cereal. So if you have 2 to 3 cups of cereal, at least 2 cups like me, then you can get about 400 milligrams of sodium just in the morning. Mom, so even when lunch hasn't come. I'm sorry, you all. It is thundering here, and my son has been very good in his room, and he does not like thunder, but that's okay. But anyway, so it's 30 minutes, and I wanted to keep this to a digestible format. So thank you all very, very, very much for joining me today. So let's talk about some recipes for pasta, because I know that's something that's huge that many people enjoy. So let's make some homemade pasta. Stay away from the cans as much as you can. Stay away from a lot of these boxed items. And we will all continue to climb together and regain our health, reboot the anti-aging process, which I love that Dr. Lindsay talked about that. And also, so watch your sugar, watch your salt, and join me in the Cove next week for part 4 of the grocery store tour. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for joining me.